Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Love what you drive. Today I got another one for you with this 2005 Ford Crown Victoria P-71. Now we don't have the backstory or much of the story where this car came from, where it served as a police unit, or what the future plans of it are. All we know is that we got this car from a wholesaler not too far from here locally in New Jersey, and it's a 05 Ford Crown Victoria P-71. Now I wanted to do this car particularly because right off the bat you can see the different bumper color, the header panel, you can see the scuffs and even the rust spots. But why I was so drawn to this: one, it's a P-71. Two, it's all intact in one piece. And three, this is a testament of the quality and how these cars are made and were made to last, even though they might look a little rough on the edges. Now this car was purchased from a wholesaler. He had it on his lot. It was a cheap price. We couldn't pass it up. And he said that the older gentleman who had it, he came in and he said he was already just getting older and he needed something newer and something maybe even more reliable. But if you've been a viewer of this channel or an enthusiast of the Panther platform, you will right away know how reliable these are, how many miles they can run to, and what all goes into keeping these cars running, which is not much, and the ease of working with them. Now, as always, we're going to take some time to talk about the outside, the exterior of this car, and also we're going to go inside, the interior, under the hood, and of course in the trunk. Now off the bat we can see the car, which is it's that goldish champagne color. There are some evidence of it being a police car or a police Interceptor, and we're going to talk about these. So this little hood ornament with this guy, my friend who owns the car, actually added this thing on there, which kind of gives it a nice little look. It is a flash toy, magnetized. Gives it a nice little sparkly, shiny touch. But the header panel looks like it's from a white Crown Vic. Right away we can see that the headlights need some buffing. They're definitely a little bit out of alignment. But the headlights work, all the turn signals work. As we can see here, missing bulbs and a cracked side marker or side lamp turn signal. The bumper here looks like it's just a black. At one time did have some clear coat on it. You can see it under the light right there. But under the black, you can see right here, it's yellow. Now I don't know if this came off of an older taxi or where it came from, but you can definitely see the yellow taxi color under there. Definitely been in some bumps. It has some bruises, and we can see also that it does not have a police bar or the holes that would particularly house a police bar or a push bar in the front. Other than that, the hood is in pretty good condition. The lines are a little bit off because I think it was in a car accident or some kind of fender bender, but it did come with the clean title. So looking on this side, we can see that there's a bulb inside, and this one's definitely like a newer turn signal. And of course there's some more of that yellow popping through. The honeycomb grille with the Ford badge is intact, and we're gonna go around and move to this side now. Probably the only serious rust spots that we see is these front fenders, this side and the other side. It is running on I believe these are the OEM 16-inch wheels. This tire is a 225/60 R16. Why I say this tire? Because all the tires on here are pretty much different. They're all different brands, and I'll show you here in a second. Definitely a little bit of rust right here. and a nice little chip of paint that is gone there. There is a place for where the spotlight was. Now it just houses this rubber molding or rubber piece and a hole. I'm not sure if that's letting water in or not. If we do look at the VIN, you can see that it's a P-71 registration, and it looks like last time it was registered is out of New York State. We are in New Jersey, but it is a New York registered car, or was. The other side, or the other tire, or the other wheel here is a Mastercraft, which is also, but this one's a 215 60 R16, and you can see it's a very beefy, really good condition snow wheel or snow tire. Now that's why I said that the tires are running all different. It drives a little wonky and a little wobbly. You can hear the noise from this meaty tire that's a winter tire, but other than that, I mean, the car does drive. It drives straight. Moving on to the rest of the exterior, definitely a plus. Little American flag to represent our great country. The back bumper could definitely probably use a small bumper tuck, because it is a little bit, as they call it, a saggy diaper look. There are some scuffs on the bumper, and we're obviously sporting a temporary plate here in New Jersey. Looks like some of the badging is gone, so the police interceptor badge has been ripped off, but it is the black panel and the black under the lights. All the lights do work. Everything is functional. It does have this antenna. This side is a little bit rougher shape. Other than that other side, you can see that there's this dent, and the bumper's a little bit dented and in. But overall, for the year and the mileage, I think is a really good shape. It's not a rust bucket. Why I say that? Because the underframe or undercarriage is not rusty as one should be, we could say. This is another one, a different tire, 225 60 16, different brand. But even if we look here in the wheel wells, we can see that the rust is not that prevalent. There's a little bit here in the front fenders, but most of all, it's in pretty good shape. Now, before we keep moving, I did forget to look under here in the back. Okay, it is sporting a dual exhaust. Let me see here. A dual exhaust, and you can see from under here a little bit of surface rust, but nothing major. Let's keep moving. Another American flag, and it looks like there was some kind of a patch jobs or maybe some kind of a repaint. But looking at the sunlight, there is a difference of paint color. Yeah, we can see that there is some kind of repairs that's been trying to get done on this car. Why you could also see there's running marks or like drip marks from clear coat all along here under the mirror. But nevertheless, it is same color, just that side compared to this side, there's more gold flake on the passenger rear door. So maybe there was an accident, maybe there was something, but the car, other than that, is all gold and looks pretty good for its age and mileage. Again, this side and the other fender are the most beat up, rust-wise, you can say, fenders. And just a quick trip to the junkyard or Facebook Marketplace will definitely fix her up. And finally, the other tire, which is another completely different brand, is sporting a 225 60 R16. Again, window wells look pretty rust-free. nothing really major. And that is the exterior of the car. So before we do move on into the engine and the trunk, the roof has these plugs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Probably for antennas, maybe lights, maybe some kind of other equipment. But they are there, they are plugged, and it looks like those plugs that are rubber have been on here for a while. But the roof is in pretty good shape from what I can see. So you could definitely tell it's been a police car with the black panels right there. Police Interceptor badge that is missing under the lights. And then these Ford chrome wheel caps that are missing the center caps on 3 of the other wheels. And other than that, a little bit of peeling right here, but windshield otherwise looks good. So let's go ahead and pop the hood of the car and see what it's like under there. Now before we do that, I want to show you the mileage on this car. The mileage says 250,832. That's 250,000 miles on this 05 Crown Victoria. Okay, Flash, move over as we get under. Now, under the hood, nothing special, no fancy cop chips, not even blue silicone hoses, but for the most part, standard 4.6 with nothing outrageous. Definitely a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of dust, a little bit of leaks here and there, but other than that, everything looks pretty solid. So this hose does say Motorcraft on it, does have a part number and a name, but it's not the blue silicone hoses that I personally thought comes on every P-71. Maybe that's a newer model. If you know, put it in the comments below. The infamous P-71 airbox with the bigger snorkel, the bigger box, and the zip tube for all the Lincolns, Mercuries, and any other Crown Victorias who want to upgrade their air intake system. Like I said, other than that, everything looks to be stock, not even extra bunch of wiring or any other equipment. So it does run pretty smooth. Let me go ahead and start it for you. There we have it in its working fashion. Starts up every time. It looks like the pulley's a little bit wonky. Looks like a little bit of a play there, but for the most part, it's pretty smooth idle. And just your typical 4.6 2V V8 from Ford in this Crown Victoria. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off and we'll get to the trunk. Now, before I shut it, I'm not sure what maintenance has been done on this. I'm not sure if the intake manifold has been changed or not. Everything's just kind of dusty and all the one color. Doesn't look like there was any new parts or any shiny anything like that, so I'm thinking this is a very well kept up Crown Victoria with 250,000 miles, and it's still running and driving and starts every single time. Let's go check out the trunk. Now, if you've seen the previous video of Josue's P-71, he did have a trunk button for the latch here, and also the usual spot right here where all the P-71s have them. He also had an upgraded radio. This one is just a radio, no CD, no tape, no nothing. So we're gonna pop the trunk and check out what's back there. And as always, junk in the trunk, which is the best part about these cars that I love to see, because it really shows us people's lives. Nothing fancy here, actually. The only visuals that I see that it is a police or had some kind of equipment in here is this rack right here. I'm not sure what that's for. It does have a bunch of a wire harness, which I'm not sure what it, let me see here, what this was for, but it is hooked up over there. The wires have been cut, and you could almost see that they've been capped off, like all of these. But there it is. They did definitely have something in here. There's a relay, a bunch of Ford relays. So if you know anything about this wire harness or what it was for, please leave it in the comments below. And like I said, the only rack here is this metal rack right there. Everything else just looks to be standard. My camera bag, a new jack that my friend acquired, and there is this spare with a Goodyear tire, which is probably the P-71 original tire, and this one is a 225/60/16. Not in the best shape, but nothing else really back here, but trunk pretty clean in that case. Okay, let's get inside the interior now. We'll start with the front. It's got this nice light sandy or light colored interior. Like I said previously, Josue's P-71 was like a dark or a black charcoal. He did have the power seats, which were up here. He did have the trunk button that was here. So that's why I say every P-71 or Crown Vic is so different, and I'm learning as I go. So this one does not have that. It does have the lumbar button on here, which is kind of interesting, and it does work. I can see it. You can probably hear it moving up and down. Nice little feature. Of course, manual back part of the seat. And now there is a switch here that says on and off. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it's been put in here, and it looks like the wires have been cut. But other than that, it all looks pretty intact and pretty clean. Now the seats are cloth, that nice sandy or whatever the color is. The dash is in really good shape. Steering wheel is crusty and dirty, but does have the cruise control buttons and the functions. Now from the other P-71, Josue's, there is no pedal adjustment and no traction control button. So this is why I always am surprised and amazed at P-71s or Crown Victorias, because I thought they were kind of cookie cutter standard police interceptors, but this one does not have the pedals that are adjustable or the traction control button. as his did, maybe because of the year. This is 05, his was a newer. The cockpit here, let me move that, is definitely comfortable, plain, simple, no extra buttons, no extra things. I kind of like this. It's a change from my Mercury, my 06. Standard, just a FM, AM radio. As you can see, standard controls, AC, heater, which by the way, the AC doesn't work. I'm sure it's a common issue, maybe the blend door actuator, maybe the accumulator, maybe something else. And there is a cup holder here, but the cover of it, or the handle's been broken, so it is here. And of course there's an ashtray full of ashes, because this car does have a very musty cigarette like smell, very pungent. In the middle here, I think this is just a universal some kind of a universal cup holder, and pretty clean glove compartment with just seatbelt buckle and a black cherry scent bomb, which tries to overpower the cigarette smell in the car. Standard mirror. The police ticket light does not work, but it is up here, and you got these lights that do operate while the door is open. Front seats are actually pretty clean. Not sure if anybody cleaned them or not, but they are in good condition. They're not ripped. Very surprised that for 250,000 miles, there's really no tears, no rips. I think the leather ones would have been pretty much torn up already, but these still have good support, good cushions, and a little bit of just a little tear right here. Let's go ahead and move on into the back seat. The back seat is, as always, very clean. The liner, or the headliner's sagging a little bit there. But what do you expect for 250,000 miles? These are like leather or vinyl seats, which are in pretty good condition, as you can see. And everything here is pretty clean. Of course, your standard plastic door panels. And let's go ahead and have a seat. Okay, so there is probably that stab proof panel back here. You can hear it, you can feel it. This side as well. I know some of the cars have this, so in case there's a knife or whatever, it will not puncture the back. Seats are comfortable, and kind of like this combination. Whole sways. The previous one with the camouflage green had the black leather, and then the black front cloth seats. Now it looks like something used to be here. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys know. It's on both sides. So there's one here, and there is a cutout right there. Not sure if it was some kind of a bar, or maybe, okay, so there's a line right here. So maybe this was a like a police car with the bars or the cover in here. So yeah, it does. You see that line, and there's like an indent in the headliner, and then you got these cutouts right here. So maybe you guys know. You could let me know in the comments below. But other than that, this is the car. Very standard, very nicely kept. If I could, I would keep this. I want a Crown Victoria in my Panther enthusiast collection. All the lights do work. Turn signals, brake lights, headlights. And now this side, like I said, very clean. Not much rust here. You would think that the car would be rusted, but it is not. There we have it. So all that's left now to do is to go on the joyride, to go on the cruise. So usually I'll be in the passenger seat recording someone, but today I get the privilege of doing both, driving and recording. That was the other thing. So you can see it's in park, trying to start, but not something with the, something to do with the gear, but there's a trick. Neutral, and it starts right up. Now, like I said, it does say 250,000 miles, 833. We got the ABS light that is on and the brake light that is on. Even though we popped the brake, the fluid seems to be fine, and the airbag light once in a while will flicker on and off. But other than that, this is joyride time. I would love to drive a police unit or a police interceptor that still has all of its equipment, and that was very well kept. So maybe if you're in the local Central Jersey area or anywhere near, you can contact me and we can make a video. Now, driving other Panther platforms like the Lincoln Town Car, my Mercury, the 1994 Mercury Grand Marquis that is on my channel, seems like they all had the slower gears, which were the longer gears, the 273s or 327s. I didn't look at the tag on the rear differential of this car, but it has a really good pickup. I'm thinking this probably came with the 355s because it has a really good pickup when you step on it. It is a little rattly. The windows work. Everything works in here. There's some noises coming from the outside, but honestly, what do you expect out of a car that's almost 30 years old? That has 250,000 miles, 250,000 miles. Yeah, it's still on the road. Still has a clean title and is not rusted through. Looks like a New York car. So we're just gonna go around. Beautiful day here in Central Jersey. I can hear the tire in the back, the snow tire that's making a lot of noise. But what a pleasure to drive. I know some people will say, oh, it's a rust bucket. There's nothing special about these cars. There's so many of them. But every time I get my hands on one and every time I make one of these videos, there's always something new to be learned. Just the love and the passion for these Panther platforms grows. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in to Love What You Drive. See you in the next one.